Yo,
what's going on,
I
fellas?
love how we get here and everybody sits and looks at each other like, who's going to lead this in? Deer in the headlights tie right there.
Yeah.
that's my bad. My bad, Ryan. Ryan said, "Damn, make me wait." Shit. Sorry, we're. Hey, you know what's awesome?
It's
Tennessee
my
just
fault.
lost.
I'm having all kinds of audio. Huh?
Tennessee
Oh,
just
Tennessee.
lost.
Tennessee got
Florida
Blow
wins.
the f- out.
Flawless victory.
Beat them by 30. Holy shit.
they got
Florida
smoked.
beat them worse than they beat us. Ugh.
I put
don't
out
know
a
what
tweet
to-
earlier. I was like, holy crap, did they waste a good surprise on us or what?
Tennessee, that's what's. I think this year, Travis, to your point earlier, I think this is how it's just going to be. I think this is how it's going to be from here on out. Like all these, just going to be crazy scores, So maybe Hog fans shouldn't be so pissed off that they went to Nashville Knoxville. Knoxville and got pummeled the way that they did. Losing. So Tennessee, for anyone who's maybe you're lost or you're not sure, it's Florida. Number 8 Florida beats Tennessee 73-43. Tennessee scored 15 points in the opening half.
That's
15.
That's crazy
Where was
work,
that
bro.
game on Saturday? Where was that game
Say
on
what?
Saturday?
I'm telling you,
yeah.
they burned all the goodness on us, man.
Well, Florida's good. I mean,
This is it. Nobody wins a road game in the SEC this year. Nobody.
well, I mean, that's fair, but you didn't expect this. Nobody would have guessed this score. Nobody. You don't get blown out when you're considered the number 1 team in the country. I know, again, Florida, I said preseason, I think Florida's probably going to be a top 4 SEC school, top 4, top 5. Would never have guessed this even then, that Florida would curb stomp Tennessee.
Even
Just
Auburn,
crazy.
Texas is 8-8 right now.
What does this say? What does this say about Kentucky? Because they just beat Florida.
Yeah.
Nobody wins on the road in the SEC.
Well, Vanderbilt did.
So
Yeah. Damn Vandy, dude. Mm-hmm. Changing
Vanderbilt.
lives. Vanderbilt's turning the whole school around at this point.
Kentucky's losing right now by 11 to Georgia at Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah, how much time's left? Was it like 2 minutes?
Yeah, 3 minutes left.
3 minutes and 18 seconds. 62-73. You know what's crazy?
is like-
Jessica bought me tickets for my
75.
birthday to the Georgia game, the Arkansas-Georgia game.
Oh, yeah.
So now Georgia's good. And I'm just like, oh,
Did we
cool.
miss your birthday?
No, it's
is your-
Thursday.
Okay, I knew it was coming.
Thursday.
You know,
so
I don't
Yeah.
remember things like that, so I rely on my socials to tell me when my boy's birthday is. So
I do too. I rely on social media for my kids' birthdays. So
I do the same. Yeah, I do the same thing. Like you'll have an old friend that you haven't talked to in like 10 years, and their birthday will pop up. And you're like, "Hey, what's going on, Will? Happy birthday, bro!" As if you just talked to the guy or whatever. It's like, yeah, they
people
know.
are so
They
lazy
know.
now. They just put HBD in like a little confetti thing.
I know.
I hate to reveal this, honestly, but if you got HBD on your socials from me, that means I didn't like you, but I don't hate you enough to not say something.
Oh wow. Yeah.
HBD.
Like, I will put happy birthday if I like you, and I will put just HBD if I'm like, screw this guy.
Yeah.
Well, I was the initial plan is to get
you
into.
were watching this.
I'm watching. Yeah, 63-75. I was gonna get into last week's games, but being that this Kentucky game's going on, I want to see this through.
And Georgia, I mean, they're up 12 on Kentucky. I mean, another game. I guess, like a minute ago, like we just said, that's just the way this is now. This is the way the SEC is. If you win on the road, that should be considered like a holy shit moment, I guess. I don't know. It's either that or it's just so early in the year. These teams are just now, I don't know, maybe they're just now getting that good film. They're just now able to really figure out who they are, and then eventually teams like probably Alabama, obviously Auburn, Texas A&M, maybe they'll figure it out and they'll start winning on the road. But or Kentucky for that matter, maybe they'll figure it out. We know this much: they're all really well talented.
Dude, a Kentucky player was going out of bounds and just stopped, jumped in the air, and just pegged a Georgia player.
Nice. Georgia's up right now, 77-64 on Kentucky.
Yeah,
and yeah,
you guys get
Auburn,
a free
Texas
game
currently
companion.
tied. Hey, yeah.
Vanderbilt's up one on Mississippi State.
Auburn, Texas is 8-8, 14 minutes in the first. Well, 14.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of games tonight for a Tuesday.
Kind of
night.
wonderful.
So
Yeah. We'll have this.
Makes this like we're gonna have to monitor this while we talk about Saturday's games real quick.
Yeah, this is the best thing about when we get into league play is all the games are awesome. And on like Wednesdays and Fridays and Saturdays, you're like, oh hell yeah.
Yeah, well, so we'll be on that Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday rotation, right? Like, it's about to be the most. It's going to be the most entertaining basketball season I think we have ever had in the SEC. I really think this is going to be a year for the books. I don't know how far they go in March. I don't know if Alabama goes on another run. I don't know how far Tennessee goes. You know, Kentucky, Arkansas, assuming they get in, especially Arkansas. But yeah, this is going to be I think it's just going to be a crazy year, man. I told Travis before no, you were in there too. I'm going to have Blake Lovell from Southeastern 16 on Thursday, and I'm really excited about that to get his take on just kind of how crazy things have been so far. And by then we'll have already played the Arkansas Ole Miss game, so I'll get his reaction to that as well.
We'll either be happy or sad about that one. Ryan said top SEC will finish with 11 conference wins with a question mark.
Say what now? The what?
Ryan said the top SEC will, I believe is what he said. Top SEC will finish with 11 conference wins. Was a question.
Well, I mean, yeah. Who knows, right? I mean, Vanderbilt, who went on the road and they beat. I know LSU's not a great opponent, but who knows, right? They're 11-3. LSU is, and Vanderbilt's 13-1. Vanderbilt might be that team, huh?
He said Georgia's still up. Kentucky's playing defense now, though. 77-66, 1 minute and 37 left.
Oh, wow. ESPN's way behind. Damn. ESPN says there's 2:15 left to go.
Oh, my bad.
Way to go.
We're not following that. This ain't a game companion. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's fine. They're not that
For
relevant.
anybody who watched our very sad game companion last week with or last Saturday with Arkansas and Tennessee, we try to do that every once in a while and let you guys follow along and talk and chat with you and whatever. But that was a historically
They're a better
pathetic
time when we
performance
win.
that we watched.
Yeah, they're a better time when
They
we win,
definitely
for
are.
sure.
Oh, my God.
Definitely are.
The Tennessee fans that we triggered with that. And then the post game, I had several Tennessee fans that were just like, well, one guy was denied. I mean, this is just crazy. Said that we had talked about officiating being the reason why Arkansas lost or whatever. And I was like, man, if you listen to what we said, we complimented Tennessee multiple times, and we did. But we said
Tennessee
that
kicked their ass.
we also said that they were able to play their style of game at home. That makes a difference. And you can see that. I think we're being proven right now. Like, they can't play that style on the road. Now, it could just be that Florida's more physical. I don't know. I haven't watched enough. And I wasn't able to watch that game because I was watching Stranger Things Season 4 with my youngest. She's been wanting me to watch it with her. So after she got done with her homework, I was like, all right, we can watch it. So I didn't get to watch much hoops today, but I think we were right. Tennessee could not play their brand of ball on the road, so I think we're being proven right. But that doesn't mean Tennessee's not a good team. They're a really damn good team who I
And they were
fully
damn sure
expect
better
to be
than
a.
us that day because it doesn't matter who officiated or how the officials were. We weren't
Exactly.
in that game.
Which we also pointed out. Tennessee's just better, and Arkansas is still trying to figure things out. But again, if this is the norm, though, for road teams to be this kind of where we're seeing blowouts and very few close games in SEC play on the road, does Arkansas, I know the three of us, everyone who knows who's been around, we follow the Razorbacks. Will Arkansas will they be that same caliber of opponent in Bud Walton? where they're good enough where they're going to beat people by 15, 20, 24 points at home.
I was going to say, Bud Walton better start showing up, because if that's what it's going to take, if crazy home environments are what's going to win games, we should be winning all our home games. You know what I mean?
Well, it wasn't the case last year.
That's not going to be an issue.
Yeah, it's not going to be an issue. They're going to show up even tomorrow night. Well, I don't know. The weather might scare some people off, even though it's not supposed to hit till Thursday. Once you get snow in the forecast, it doesn't matter if it's the day before or the day of or whatever. You'd be surprised how big of an impact that can have on the home crowd. So maybe Ole Miss is counting on the weather to be bad earlier than later. But, yeah, the bad weather's not supposed to hit till the next day, till Thursday afternoon. But I wonder if that does hit the attendance a little, but I don't think it will. Like Tim said, they're going to show up for SEC.
Anybody wants to give away tickets, you just holler at your boy.
I'd be more concerned for Saturday's game with Florida.
Yes.
With potentially 3 to 6 inches of snow on Friday, I'd be more concerned with the crowd on Saturday's game against Florida, which obviously we're going to need everyone to show up. So
I think Little Rock's going to get it worse than we do, though. I think
they
central
are.
Part of the state's going to get destroyed.
Central, which is rare. It's always the Ozarks that gets pummeled with snow when we get snow. When I was growing up as a kid, and Tim lived up here, I think, in the 90s in Northwest Arkansas, it was not unheard of for us to miss a shit ton of school because of how often we got snow up here. It was like it would take – I can remember going to school with 3 inches of snow on the ground. It was not like it is today. Now you get an inch of snow.
It's over.
An inch of snow. My kids were left out for negative wind chills. They said stay home.
Oh, yeah.
We used to walk to school in wet jeans uphill. And
I mean, that is real, though. That's real talk, because I think because back then we just were kind of used to it. Like every winter we got hit pretty hard. You know, I mean, by our standards. When I say pretty hard, I mean by Southern, Arkansas standards. But it's different now. Yeah, you get an inch or even less, your school's probably canceled. I swear to God, we canceled school once because it sleeted. I swear to God. A couple of years ago.
Ryan corrected. He said, I was basically asking, do you think the top SEC team will finish with like 11 conference wins, over under 14 conference wins for a number? Man, probably. If it's like this, there's a lot of parity right now, because it's 1 week you're awesome, 1 week you suck, 1 week you're awesome. So I'm hoping that's the case for what happened to Arkansas last week, to be honest.
Maybe Kentucky's just that good Tennessee's just that good at home.
Maybe.
That really could be the case.
I mean, as long as
maybe it was lightning in a bottle.
They did without repercussion, for sure. So, although, again, like we said during that game, Tennessee, it ended up pretty even in fouls, but it was the timing of the fouls. It was almost like the refs were playing catch-up toward the end of the game.
Yeah.
So, oh crap! There's a foul disparity. Let's call a couple.
Yeah, I've noticed that over the years. It feels like second halves are just. It almost always feels like the second halves are officiated differently, and it's just a feeling. It may not be factual. I don't know, but I've felt that way for a while, especially with SEC basketball.
I think it's officiated tighter.
Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe that's what it is, because it's the most critical part of the game.
Well, I was talking to my dad. My dad, he hates it when people blame officiating. He hates it. And I said, Dad, I'm not blaming officiating. I'm just telling you. This was after I left your house. I was on my way home, and he always calls me, after a show or whatever to really. He wants to hear the real, like, what do you really think, Ty? And I'm like, I told you everything that I thought on the post game, but I told him the same thing right there. I said over the phone, like, Dad, I'm not blaming officiating. I'm just telling you that if you watched how that unfolded, Tennessee was certainly allowed to play Tennessee brand of ball, 110%.
Especially
I'm not saying they didn't.
The first half was awesome. We were like, they're letting them play.
Yeah, both teams, and again, that seems to be more common these days, where they're doing that, and it might be across college ball, where early on they're letting the teams kind of, play with whatever level of tenacity they want to play with, and then as the game goes on, it's different. But yeah, I felt like if that game was on a neutral floor or in Bud Walton, Tennessee would still win that game. Mm-hmm. So It's just really that.
Played, absolutely. It just wouldn't have been as bad.
I was saying, maybe
I don't think it would have been
20
as bad.
Something, but Drooby Dooby Doo. What up, man?
We didn't play perimeter defense. We didn't
right,
rebound
Mr.
the
DC.
ball. We weren't winning that game. It didn't matter.
Mr. DC's got a question. He said, got a question. Must started 0-3 in one of his seasons, but turned it around and made it to the tournament. Do y'all think Coach Cal can do that with this year's team? I still think they'll go tournament. I just think they'll be a lower seed. Or, I mean, a higher seed.
Yeah.
It really depends. There's a lot still left to be figured out with this team, I think.
Well, they don't have. That echo's killing me. I don't know where that's coming from, but it's killing me. It's throwing me off.
It's probably Timmy. Timmy, turn your speakers down slightly.
I don't hear an echo.
If I remember, the year they started off 0-3, I think that was that not JD Note's last year, and they started off 0-3 like 2022 or I can't remember, but. You had Muss always had dogs on his roster. He always had like a couple of guys, maybe one big and a guard that were just dogs. You had someone underneath, that just dominated around the post. Maybe didn't kill it on the stat sheet, but was someone that could get 6 or 7 boards. And then they were boxing out properly. They were moving the ball underneath around the paint. They were playing well rim protection wise, and they were just crowding the lanes. And then you had a guard, someone like a Mason Jones if you go far enough back, or you can, obviously JD Note, guys like that. Tate,
Tony.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Adis. Yeah. Always had a couple of dogs. I don't know that this team has, but maybe I don't know. Thero, I guess. Thero.
Yeah.
Thero is probably maybe it. Boogie Flan plays with finesse. But I don't know that he plays with like that dog, where he just wants to dominate.
Physical player, I don't think.
Well, and it doesn't even have to be physical necessarily, but like, sacrificing their body to go get a rebound. Now, to be fair, Brazil has shown that a little bit. Brazil has shown that he's willing to move up and down the floor. But I don't know. I always felt like Muss had multiple guys on his rosters that just were playing an inspired brand of ball, and it's just rare outside of maybe you'll get that out of Billy Richmond when he comes off the bench, but that's more like energy, right? But he's still giving
Richmond's
it.
kind of a dog.
Well,
I will say,
and his minutes have been limited significantly. So
yeah,
they're trying to squeeze Adu and Nelly back in there, and I think it's a mistake.
Nelly. No, I'm sorry, but Nelly just doesn't. I don't know why he starts, and I don't know why he's going to get the minutes he's getting unless I'm hoping we're all proven wrong. I really am, but we haven't seen it yet, really. His 3-point percentage was on a surge before they sat him down, but he still was a low production player. I'm pretty sure he was always in the minus. He was always in the minus. Yeah, I don't know. I just haven't been blown away. But again, his 3-point percentage did climbed up. He ended up shooting, but again, before he went out again, I think he was shooting like lights out outside, like 40%, 45% in a couple of games. So, and then they set him out and he comes back out and he just, I don't know. It's very square peg round hole. Like I've said about 1,000 times about him.
Damn. Looks like Georgia's going to do it. 81-68, 34 seconds left.
Oh, I love it.
Beautiful. 12-3. Welcome to the club, boys. 3 loss or 4 loss?
Arkansas's 3.
All right.
Arkansas's 11-3, 0-1.
Oh yeah, Kamani Johnson. Drew said Kamani Johnson was a dog.
Kamani was a dog. He's right.
He was.
I'm telling you, like Muss.
It
felt like Muss always had. I said 2. I definitely lowballed. It was like 3 or 4, just dogs on that roster. And they actually, some of them did get production. Some of them did get, Anthony Black never got. Black was a dog. I mean, he'd be underneath the rim getting boards and doing cleanup around the rim if someone missed a layup. I mean,
Black was a fun player to watch. Still is.
Yeah.
But it's fun to,
doing well in Orlando. Yeah.
Yep. He's one of the better players we've had for a while.
Really good point guard, like really good. He could play. He could spot up at the 1, man. I mean, he was fun to watch, and he could. You felt like the offense just kind of could flow through him, and I feel the same way about Boogie. You know, if he's a real good guard. He's a real good point guard. You know, he plays the one really well, but he's more of a finesse guy. And I think when you're in transition, you're playing that up tempo kind of ball on offense. You know, he's the guy you want to have the ball in his hands, 110%. You know, either him or Thero, right?
I think his rhythm. I think Boogie's rhythm dictates a lot of how our offense is going to go that day.
It really does.
It seems like a lot of the guys feed off of him.
Mm-hmm. Tomorrow, January 8th, is also an interesting lineup of games. We might have Alabama should start off 2-0 in SEC play. They're on the road against South Carolina.
Well, Alabama spanked who'd they play? They spanked some. Was it Oklahoma?
Yes, it was.
It's almost
Oklahoma.
difficult to go back to the previous week games because there's so many coming up.
Yeah.
You know, I was just about to ask you, do you want to do last week's or do you want to look at this week's?
Well, I kind of like talking. We can do, a bit of both, really. Because Saturday, obviously it's all relevant. I mean, that's when you started SEC play. I expected Mizzou to put up a better fight, even though it's Auburn on the road. But they lost 84-68. You know, some crazy games around the country. Baylor, by the way, no longer ranked. Iowa State smoked them. I don't know if you saw that, 74-55 against Baylor.
I did not see that.
There's really only one close game in the SEC on Saturday. The only close game was Kentucky-Florida, 106-100. The rest of them were near 20-point blowouts.
Yeah.
I think LSU Vanderbilt was maybe 8 points. But the rest of them were pretty much well in hand games.
Yeah.
They weren't terribly close.
76-52.
So Texas A&M on Wednesday is going to take on Oklahoma. Texas A&M beat Texas by 20. Oklahoma got beat by almost 30. But it's at OU, so you can't really count them out. So it should be interesting.
That is a good game.
Be interesting to watch.
That is the biggest game on Wednesday. Yeah.
Still can't
believe
Wednesday, Kentucky beat Florida. That's nuts. What a weird
season. Again, it was at home though. I mean, it was at Rupp. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, if Kentucky's at Florida, you know, apparently we would have to take Florida, right? I mean, again, I'm not hating on Kentucky.
Home advantage matters in basketball.
Well, that's always been the case, right? That's always been the case. No matter if the SEC was good or bad, that's always been the case. Winning on the road in college basketball and college hoops is really hard. But it's intensified now because of the caliber and pedigree of these rosters and the coaching, the head coaches and their staff. I mean, we've never seen this in the SEC. There are 6 household name head coaches in this conference. We've never had that. As long as I've been alive, you've never had that.
Well, basketball was always the Big 12 game.
There's also something to be said for Rupp Arena. You know, if you're playing in the scary arenas, Rupp is definitely up there at the top, along with Bud Walton. You know, there are certain arenas that just hold a little more weight than some of the others. It's different when you're
Tennessee's one of them.
What does Auburn's hold, like 8,000 or something, versus when you have a Bud Walton that's 19,500, or Rupp's pretty big too. Although it's built in a weird way, an old way. So Bud Walton kind of goes like this, and Rupp kind of goes like this, almost straight up looking down. But yeah, I mean, there are certainly some crazier atmospheres. I think they probably have one of those most crazy atmospheres. So
yeah, that counts for something.
If
and the same thing.
Their crowd is going to turn it.
I can't remember the last time Arkansas went on the road and beat Tennessee in Knoxville. I feel like did Muss not do it one year, or am I crazy?
Was that the year we were down by 20?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I don't remember if that was in Bud Walton or there. It just feels like Arkansas's never had good luck against Tennessee in hoops. Like, I remember as a kid, it felt like Tennessee, even when Arkansas was definitely the better team, struggled to beat Tennessee, you know, when they weren't as good. So I don't know. And Barnes just has Calipari's number. So, you know, Kentucky fans will remind you of that as well, by the way.
That reminds us about everything. I was just looking at the availability report for tomorrow. It looks like Big Z is questionable, and then Michael Brown Jones for Ole Miss is out. I don't even know who that is.
Okay.
Super educated, huh? Killing it. What was that? Ball bearings in there, bro?
Yeah, Michael Brown Jones, he's their forward.
Okay.
Doesn't get a lot of minutes per game last I looked. I think he's like a 11 or 12 minute a game kind of guy. I don't remember. I could pull it up, I guess, but I don't remember him being a high, like he's not a high production guy, so it's not like I'm sure everyone's got their key piece off the bench, right? He could be that. I don't know. Padula's their guy. Padula's their he's their guard. Guy's averaging like 15 points a game, couple steals. Really good player.
So I can answer that for you. Michael Brown Jones, his production dropped off significantly so far this year. 22-23, averaged 10 points a game. 23-24, he averaged 19 points a game. Right now he's averaging 6. I don't know if he's been injured or what, but
he's been around a while, if I remember right. He's like a super.
This is 5th year.
Yeah, okay. God. Well, there you have it.
Hey, what is
the school.
SLN? Do you know what that is? Mr. DC33 said SLN turned off their live as soon as Kentucky lost.
Oh, Sports Live Nation, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ryan says, Big Z questionable. Big Z confidence is out.
Oh, wait, I'm thinking SLR. My bad. SLR is
SLR.
Sports Live Reaction or something. Okay.
Huh.
But he usually does stream the Kentucky games. So maybe that's who they meant to say is SLR.
It may have been.
Yeah, those Kentucky fans are something else, man.
Let's see.
They are for sure. So if you again going back to Ole Miss really quick, like they're an interesting matchup for Arkansas. You know, they're not I don't know that they do any one thing great. You know, they're barely a top 100 scoring team. They're an average, a little bit below average rebounding team. I think they're 280 or something in the country in rebounds. They're a decent assist per game team, like 15 or so, but they're not giving up a ton of points. They're giving up like 64 points a game. Again, not a team I've watched a lot of. This will be an interesting matchup though, and especially if they've got a bench guy that might be doubtful. I feel like Big Z's going to play. I bet he
probably
plays.
will.
I don't know how much, but I feel like he's going to end up playing.
How much does he really play anyway? Go ahead, Sammy.
Ole Miss has 4 guys who average double figures in points. The leading scorer averages 14 points a game. They don't have a double-double guy. They don't have a double-double guy on the roster, so there's not any major rebounder there. They don't actually have anybody who averages more than 5 rebounds a game. As a team, they shoot 45% from the field, 35.5% from three-point. So they are kind of average.
Yeah, they're pretty average across the board. If you look at their numbers, you know, because I was debating doing a pre-live on Ole Miss just to talk about them. I thought no, because I'm already doing the post game for it, and I'm going to bring on Blake Level for Thursday, as I already mentioned, to do kind of also his reaction to the game and
you got a busy week, man.
His thoughts on. Yeah, I'm already swamped, so I'm like, nah, I'm good. And I had to release a Patreon video this morning, which was free and open to the public. So even though it's 2 minutes, you know me, took me about 15 takes to get it right, and then the editing. But yeah, this is a fascinating matchup, and the spread right now it's just -3 for Arkansas. So I would take it. I would take Arkansas. It's 3.5. I'm sorry. I would take Arkansas in the 3.5. I feel like they're going to win this. I think they'll win by 8 or 9.
I have
maybe
more
10
confidence
points.
in them winning this game than I do them winning Florida.
Oh yeah, certainly now. Yeah, hell yeah,
John
dude.
Hall's in the building. What's up, buddy?
Splitting this right now looks to be like, oh, okay, at least we split. You know what I mean? Like between Ole Miss and Florida.
Do we have like two of the best teams in the league within like a 3-game run? Like, good Lord.
I don't know.
I don't know who's better. I'm gonna be honest. Like between Kentucky, Tennessee, and Florida, that's such a mess there.
Everybody's got to play everybody this year for the most part. I mean, and Arkansas is going to get.
I wish we'd have got Kentucky twice, man.
I know. I wish we'd get them in Bud. I think you could justify playing them twice a year in basketball more than you can Texas. I think you can. I mean, Texas is not relevant. They're very rarely relevant in hoops, and you've got this, baked-in rivalry between Arkansas and Kentucky. And by the way, again, in the '90s, Arkansas and Kentucky was a legitimate fight back and forth in the '90s too. I mean, this is a true organic, still relevant, has been relevant. You go back to the last-second Qualls dunk in Bud Walton Arena, one of the craziest things I've ever seen. There's more room and it's more recent with Kentucky, and I feel like it has been for a long time since we joined the SEC. It's just Arkansas didn't always hold up their end of the bargain, especially throughout most of the 2000s, right? Whereas you haven't played Texas, obviously, as an in-conference foe since the early 90s. So I felt like they should have justified playing Kentucky and Arkansas twice a year. But whatever.
Yeah, well, especially
I'll take Texas.
Yeah, I'll take Texas too because they're not very good. Auburn's whooping their ass right now. We need these wins, man. We need to get in this tournament.
I know.
Hey, I got a question for you, Ty.
Did
we suck so bad we didn't even get invited to the NIL last year? What happened with that?
Yeah, they didn't.
Just nothing?
NIT, yeah.
NIT, what did I say? NIL. Oh, that's how much we talk about NIL, bro.
I know.
How come we didn't get invited to the KJ Jefferson Bowl?
Yeah, right. I still call the Outback Bowl the Outback Bowl. Someone was talking to me about that bowl, and I was like, "Oh yeah, the Outback." It's like, no, it's this.
What's it called now?
I already forgot.
I have no idea.
I don't know what it is. It was the Outback Bowl. I don't know. I haven't really cared since Arkansas hasn't been in it.
Bloomin' Onion Bullshit Bowl.
Is that what it is? Bloomin' Onion? Is
I
it?
don't know.
Oh wait, no, that's an Outback. Never mind. That's an Outback. I was thinking, like, wait, is that the name of a restaurant? The Bloomin' Onion. I forgot that's what Outback's known for. But yeah, they were bad last year, man. And I've convinced myself that it was Muss just kind of his mind was elsewhere.
Packing his shit for California.
Yeah, heading back home. I really think that. But then I went on a little rant the other day. Wait, was that yesterday? Yeah, yesterday, where I talked about how the optics of Cal going to the Derrick Rose thing immediately after getting blown out in Knoxville, and how the optics of that weren't so great. And then I'm like, oh, I wish he had the Musselman. How personal he took every loss, and he lost sleep over it, and Danielle would have him sleep out in the guest house or whatever. Whereas with Cal, you feel like, whatever. But then thinking about it, but Muss also last year kind of checked out. At least I think that's what happened. So I don't know. It just kind of is. It's one of those things. I really hope, again, because I know 90% of the audience is Arkansas fans, I hope they learned a shit ton from that Arkansas-Tennessee game. The whole shoot-around debacle, not shooting around before the game, and just what happened during the game.
That's pretty common for early games. Is that not? The more I read into that, the more I've seen that's more common for the early games. They don't do that, which seems insane to me that you would never shoot around before a basketball game.
Well, again, someone in my comments was like, I've never heard of that, LOL. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, of course I've heard. I mean, this has been a thing. He's done this before, by the way. Cal did this literally like 3 years ago against guess who? Tennessee. Matt Jones from Kentucky Radio played the clip. So, like, this isn't completely unheard of. I'll be honest with you. I can't think of a time when Arkansas didn't do it.
Guess who had a shoot around today and still got their ass kicked?
It doesn't seem to make sense from a traveling team standpoint. The thing is, you're not used to the gym. You're not used to the
rims.
The rims, the lights, the whatever. Not every gym is made the same. Not every gym looks like or feels like Bud Walton Arena. So in an away game, you almost feel like you need that shoot around just to get yourself used to the atmosphere. I could see a noon game at Bud Walton Arena. I'm not shooting around because I shoot there every day for practice.
Yeah.
But an away game, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Just my 2 cents.
Yeah, same. You'd think you'd want to adjust to it.
I can remember, I want to say this was in the Nolan days, where they would always talk about how some arenas, the rims, the little springs under the rim, they're all a little bit different. The way the rim bounces is a little bit different. So you need to get to know, and I don't know if that's still the case. Hell, there might be a minimum maximum torque rule on how tightly you hold those springs down on these boards or these rims attached to the boards across the SEC. I don't know, but I seem to remember that being a debate on radio about how these rims are different at every location. If that's still the case, then why wouldn't you want to do a shoot around just to get comfortable with the rim? I don't
things
know.
like that. Also, things like the depth of the field behind the backboard. Like you have some where the seats are just right there. You have some that it's a little bit farther back. You have some where the seats go basically straight up from there, and some where it kind of So you want to get that depth of field. Not everybody's vision is the same. Not everybody handles those lights the same. I just feel like the smarter thing is you go in and you shoot around ahead of time. I just don't understand not having a shoot around in an away game.
Like I said,
challenges me to a friggin'.
I don't get it for an away game.
Yeah, if somebody challenges me to a one-on-one, I'm gonna go warm up first.
Yeah, it's just natural.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, even at home,
my own driveway, I might be fine, but. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, normally, yes, but I'm saying if I was going to skip it, I'd skip it at home, not away.
Yeah. Yeah. So I hope they don't do that again, because here's the thing. If they do that again and there's no shoot around again, oh, boy. We keep talking about the optics, or I do anyways on my show. I keep talking about the optics. Oh, my God. If you do this again and it comes out that you didn't do a shoot around, or Cal has another, where he's blunt about what he did and didn't do to the media, it's going to be like, I'm not going to say it's going to be quite as bad as when Pittman said, I didn't know what to do about the whole halftime.
What to do.
It's not quite that bad because he is a Hall of Fame coach after all, but it's still not going to look good. And then you're going to get the "I told you so" by the Kentucky fans.
Dude, if he would have just not said anything, he'd have been better off.
Which one?
Cal. If he'd just not said anything about the shoot around.
It would have gotten out. Out. I mean, I think it was actually smart to get out in front of it first to just talk about it. I mean, it really was. I think it was probably smart to do that. Because if it got out and you didn't mention it, well, then now you look like an even bigger jackass. Like, oh, okay, well, now you don't want to talk about it. You want to talk about juggling balls and how your opponent's 26 years old, but you're not going to talk about not doing the shoot around. I mean, it was smart to do that, I think, to at least be honest about it. Listen, we always cry for more transparency, whether it's NIL, the collectives, or if it's, what these coaches are telling us. And I appreciate him saying that. But again, it would have gotten out anyways. Someone somewhere, with some relevancy or with a little background would have been like, hey, by the way, we didn't see Arkansas shoot around. And then it would have gotten out, and it would have looked probably worse. But
Mr. DC has a question for you, Ty.
Oh, okay. What's he got?
He's going to the portal. He said, out of all the portal players, which three do you think has an impact next season?
Oh, God, that's a good question.
Oh, we're on to football. Okay.
Yeah, we're bouncing around.
That's all right.
It's on the list, so we could just move that.
I wasn't criticizing. I was saying out loud what was going through my head. Okay, we're going to football.
Court, it is hard to not see someone like, you obviously want to point out the skill position guys, right? Like Omega Blake and Courtney Crutchfield. I'm a big fan of the Georgia Tech tackle. I mean, the guy's numbers speak for themselves, and I'm not even looking at his PFF grade, but it is good, by the way. His pass block grade I think it's the highest grade of any player we have currently that's out of the portal. I could be wrong, but his pass block grade is 91.2. And to do that, I don't care what conference you're in, to do that is pretty significant. And by the way, Carmona last year at San Jose State had a similar pass block grade, and you saw, the guy made third team all SEC. The other thing that stands out about Corey is he can play, from what I understand, he is a capable interior guy, but most likely you're probably going to put him outside somewhere. 1,600 snaps all time, all at left tackle. In his career, that's 1,648 snaps. He gave up just 6 career sacks, 30 hurries. Last year on 500. Yeah, Corey Robinson at Corey Robinson, 539 snaps, 0 sacks, 3 hurries. That's incredible. That's really good. And so the fact that you pull him out of the portal is really good. I like him a lot. Jaden Platt, the tight end out of A&M, I like a lot. By the way, for the fans for Arkansas fans, and they're not just in my live chats, they're not just in Discord. I hear people moan about this all the time. Oh, well, once they commit to Arkansas, they lose stars. No, they don't. In fact, they gain stars. Almost every single commit we got out of the portal, I've gone through and I had them listed as unranked because that's what they were at the time when they committed to Arkansas. Guess what? They're all getting stars. Jordan Platt got his 4th star when he committed to Arkansas. I think Cam Shanks had gotten his 3rd star. Ken Talley has stayed unranked, but we'll, hold on that. We'll see. Jaquan McCroy was an unranked, by the way, a guy that redshirted last year at Oregon. He got 3 stars. Like every freaking player who was unranked got their rank. So I'm just saying, for the people who complain about that, you're wrong. Arkansas. So what the complaint is that when they commit to Arkansas, well, then everyone hates us. It's the most Razorback tinfoil hat thing ever. And I'm like, guys, it happens everywhere. It happens everywhere. Everyone loses star power. It happens. It's not exclusive to Arkansas. I've been doing this for a while. I've actually kept up with recruiting for a very long time, and I've covered it now for, 5-6 years. So this happens everywhere, and here's an example of kids. I don't care if it's portal or high school rank. I don't give a shit. They're all at the end of the day moving schools, are they not? Or they're coming from high school or they're coming from another school. You would think, oh, well, they're Arkansas. They're not going to get a rank or they're going to get 1 or 2 stars. They've all gotten 3 stars outside of maybe a few. So just letting you know. Caleb Wooden, who they picked up, I think is still currently unranked. But to be fair, I think that's perfectly legit because there's nothing really stellar about him. Just looking at it from a numbers standpoint. I'm not saying he's not maybe he's a badass. I don't know. But 6'1",
74-yard return fumble against us in 23.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. He played 3 years
on him.
3 years at Auburn. 3 years at Auburn, and he didn't do shit. Like, not really. Like, he had a couple picks, a sack, and a forced fumble, and 2 pass breakups in 3 years. Yeah, I think he was mostly a backup or a special teams guy. Nothing against him, but again, 591 career snaps in 3 years. That's not a real high volume. It's not a super, super low volume, but it's not real high. But Caleb Wooden, maybe he was a starter. I don't know. Someone says they thought that he was. I don't know. If he was, it's even worse because he had 17 tackles a year ago. Maybe he got hurt. I don't know. The year before that, he had 15 tackles. The year before that, he had 9. So if he was a career starter, then then it's really bad. I mean, it's really bad if he was a career starter.
Didn't Bumper get like 60 one year or 80 or something crazy? Bumper Pool
tackles?
Yeah.
Shit, he got like 120 or something, dude.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I knew it was something nuts.
Yeah, he had a crazy – I think it was his next to last year because his last year he was hurt. He played banged up, and we found out after the season it was something with his neck, if I remember right. But the year before that, he had a shit ton of tackles. The year before he got hurt, and
yep. Those are
I think he was
3 year, 9 and 4 year.
Maybe. Yeah, I think so. I get those years all mixed up.
Yeah, me too. I blur out so many of our crappy games.
But to answer the question, it's a tough one. I'm working on putting together like a short list. I have a totem pole or a rank, if you will, of what I consider like what caliber player these guys are, where they're coming from. And at the very bottom pole is like a guy that's like a 3rd, 4th string guy. Then you have rotator. Then you have playmaker. Then you have certain levels of playmakers. And then you have difference makers, right? Difference makers are guys like Darren McFadden, Felix Jones, Matt Jones, Traylon Burks. That's the difference makers at the top. And if you want to ask me, Ty, how many playmakers, are out of the portal, it's tough to say. I mean, no one proven as far as I can tell outside of maybe a couple of guys. But Crutchfield, very high ceiling. Very high ceiling. So, and Omega Blake. I caught some heat for saying that I wasn't like all in like everybody else is on Blake. I wasn't saying he was a bad player, but there's some people making him out to be like this future first-team All-SEC wideout, and I'm like, hold on. Yeah, he got pretty decent production 1 year at Charlotte, but his other 2 years at SC was not that great.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at the portal altogether. Georgia has recently kind of turned it up on getting. They got, I think, the Branch brothers. I think they got Noah. Was it Noah Thomas from A&M? They've been putting in some work, man. So is Auburn.
Yeah, well, yeah, they just got eliminated. Yeah, they just got eliminated. So they're wandering out and about.
Did you know Platt was in the same class as Luke Haas and he outranked him?
Wait,
I had heard that somewhere. I had heard that.
Hold on.
Sure.
What? No, that's right. Yeah, because Haas was a sophomore this year.
Yeah.
And so if Platt no, wait a minute. Hold on. Is that right? He was the same year?
Now I'm going to look it up. I swear
I can't remember.
What's his name? Jalen Platt?
I can't remember. What's funny? What I missed? Someone say something?
What? Yeah, Ryan McDaniel said, did we get anyone who was an NIL expense out of the portal, or were these guys all blue light specials? Thank you.
I'm going to tell you,
you will never have another player that we don't all refer to as blue light special from now on. It doesn't matter what you pay them; they will all be the blue light specials from now on.
Well, if they don't produce, if they don't produce, they got some blue light guys. By the way, they do. I mean, there's no doubt. But you're going to have that. But it's first impressions are.
Tech tackle is not a blue light special guy. I mean,
no, him or. Right, him or Kittler are both.
Some of these guys are definitely, because that's the question. Did we get anyone who was an NIL expense, or is everybody a blue light special?
No, everybody's not a blue light.
Not.
Yep, I was right. Jaden Platt was number 16 in the position, 50 in his state. Luke Haas was 20 at the position, 5th in the state.
That's the 23 class, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So again, not everyone is a blue light special. Of course, you're going to have a few guys in there that aren't. But if these guys, if it comes out that like these guys aren't getting paid a whole lot and they're not producing, we're just going to have to refer to them all as blue light special because that's what they are.
It's all cheap asses.
I mean, Sam. To be fair, Sam started it, so.
God, that guy's done some stuff to her. You know, he just like. When he does something dumb and he sees it getting memed, he's just like, oh, God.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think he cares. He shut off all his socials anyway. He doesn't give a damn what anybody's saying.
Well, I think he does care, and that's why he shut him off. I think he does. I mean,
so when they fire Pitt next year, you think we're going to be able to
fun of him anymore because he doesn't know.
When they fire Pitt next year, y'all think we're going to be able to get Texas Tech's coach?
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. Would you want him after Arkansas bit them over and spanked that ass?
Yep. You know why? He's got the number 1 recruiting class in the transfer portal right now.
Well, yeah, but what's the volume? I mean, to be fair, Arkansas's got a high volume too, though. It's like the most of the country.
You know what? I'm going to pull it up because
it's got to be a lot.
Bring Cliff Kingsbury back from the pros.
Not that guy.
I don't know.
Not that Texas Tech coach.
Yeah, he failed. He fired his way up, didn't he? He got fired from Texas Tech and he landed the Arizona job, and then got fired again.
He was not a horrible coach at Texas Tech, though.
I think he was a really good offensive mind.
Didn't he coach Mahomes?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
And he spanked us in a bowl with him.
Yeah.
That was a regular game, wasn't it? It wasn't even a
bowl. Oh, yeah, it wasn't a bowl game. That was a home and home.
That was miserable.
Was it a home and home? I thought it was a bowl game.
That's 24.
Either way.
Yeah. We got them one year and they got us, just like with the TCU.
Wow. Do you know LSU actually jumped them? Hold on, I'm going to share my screen real quick so you guys can see what I'm cooking.
I don't know. At this point, I know most fans would say I'd take anybody over Pitt. I mean, I get it. But if you're going to move on, I don't know that I want a guy that got absolutely smoked by a team missing like 72 freaking players,
Yeah, I mean, their quarterback. Let's be real here.
They were missing their quarterback and their starting.
If we were missing Taylor Green, we would have lost that game.
I think so too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Because you're talking about KJ Jackson,
right? Exactly. Okay, so I'm pulling this up here. Whoops, sorry. I got to lock it. Sorry, guys. We're making stuff on the fly. All right. Everybody still hear me?
Yeah.
Where'd everybody go? Okay. Yeah, LSU apparently jumped Texas Tech, but Tech has 17 commits, and they're number 2 still. Let's see.
What does Arkansas have? What's their total number? Isn't it? They're also up to 17, right? No. They're up to 19. That's right. Wooden made 19.
They're getting some monsters out of the portal, man. Look at this class.
Mm-hmm. yeah, they're doing pretty good.
I bet they're going to be good as hell next year. You know, we got to play them again in a couple years. I was looking way ahead at the schedule the other day because I'm a nerd like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually on our actual regular schedule during the season.
Damn, A&M. Hold up, scroll back up. A&M. Damn, Oregon's 8 commits in their top 10 in the country, dude. Out of the portal.
Where's Oregon? Oh, okay. Sorry, you're reading fast.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, man. They probably got 5 stars. How many 5 stars do they have?
At least 4. I don't know if there are any transfer 5 stars. I've never seen one.
Actually. Yeah, they're kicking ass, dude. Oregon is Oregon. They've always had really good recruits and a ton of money.
Mm-hmm. Well, not always.
How is Stoops kicking so much? He's got 8. They're 8th in the nation.
Wait, what was that? Are they? Oh, they are. Wow. With 15 commits too. With 15 commits.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, Mississippi State, the worst team in the SEC.
They got 21. So where's Arkansas 21. Here? We're 14. We had 19.
I mean, that's volume though. To Ty's point.
Yeah.
Like I said, right now I would grade that Arkansas's class out as like a C+.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of potential with some of your top heavy guys, but I don't know. When Pittman was talking about we got the money, he made that perfectly clear. And I think he said it 3 different times on a single.
He did.
On a single. He said we got money. We got the money. We got the money. He's talking about the NIL.
We got money.
He's talking about the revenue share and the NIL being combined, I guess. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. So they're going to get a higher pedigree of player then. So far, to be fair, they've got spots left. I still think it's just a meh class.
Dude, you're walking the line of too little, too late, though, bro. Like, he may do some good end of season stuff, but you're cutting it close, dude.
Watch these last 4, however many players they sign, all be like these, incredible,
killing it.
Yeah.
We had secret commits, brother. I didn't know what to do.
I didn't know what to do.
Josh Minden didn't make the graphics in time.
Yeah.
This should be interesting. Mark, but yes, I would absolutely take their coach, and he loves Arkansas. So hell yeah, I would take that guy.
Yeah, he grew up being a Razorback fan, so that's
we know. Good Lord, he said it 80 times. That guy.
I know, but
bring your mama to games. Let's go.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's all that important, to be honest. That's like back in the day when they said Arkansas football needs all the in-state recruits to come for us to be good. I'm not sure that's the case anymore.
Well, no, but I'm not.
The coach has to love Arkansas. Bobby Petrino, for everything I've ever said bad about Arkansas, Jesus, he has no actual ties to Arkansas at all. So, but he comes here and he does good things. I know it's Arkansas Jesus, and I can only say so many good things about him, but
I think you just need somebody who wants to be here.
I don't know that it's that important anymore. I don't know that it's that important for somebody to love Arkansas to coach this team.
No, but what I'm saying is it's always cool to have that, though. And of course, I mean, Nick Saban probably gave 2 shits about Alabama. I'm just saying
the last person that actually probably cared about Arkansas was Houston Nutt.
Houston Nutt, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Pittman is in that category.
Lived and died and bled Arkansas football. Nobody has ever embodied that as much as Houston Nutt.
Until he transferred. Until he transferred to he transferred to Oklahoma State in college.
Who was that?
No. I'm talking about as a coach.
Yeah, well, he was fired here.
And he transferred to Ole Miss.
He lived and died and bled.
He actually did.
Arkansas football. There's nobody who lived that as a coach of Arkansas more than Houston Nutt. And
see, that era of Ole Miss was awesome when Houston Nutt was their coach. a good
He
time.
beat Arkansas. If I remember right, that first year when Pittman or when Bobby took the job and he went to Ole Miss, I don't remember the score, but I know they beat Arkansas.
No way, did they?
Yeah. He was there. What?
He did the first Petrino year he did.
Yeah, I think he did.
Certain of it.
Because they beat that year. I don't even remember who Arkansas beat. They won 5 games. They just missed a bowl.
My bad, guys. I didn't know that screen was on. We've been on this screen for a while now. I actually I had a live screen of we were still on the damn portal thing. That's my bad.
Oh, I do that all the time. I leave shit on the screen all the time.
Just talking away.
Yeah, just talking. Yeah.
God,
But
Travis.
All right, I got a question. Let's go ahead and let's do this. Being that my tweet got ratioed so bad the other day in the college football playoffs with the remaining teams, it was crazy. Who
You did get-
gonna pick? Who you gonna pick? Dude, it's so bad. Who y'all
I don't
going
know,
for?
man.
Ohio State and Notre Dame are going to be in the championship.
Think so?
I think so too. Yeah, that's who I'd pick. Ohio State, Notre Dame.
I've said it. I'll continue to say it. It is to Arkansas's advantage. It's to every SEC team's advantage to cheer for conference. You guys have heard me say it. You laugh at me and make fun of me for that shit. That's okay. It is
Travis
to our
does. I
advantage
don't.
I
To
do.
cheer for conference because we get paid if Texas wins. That being said, I don't think Texas is going to win. I would like to see Arkansas get more money, so I'd like to see Texas win. Don't strike me dead for that, Arkansas Jesus, but I do want Arkansas to get more money. That being said, Ohio State, I think...
Did you just tell Bobby Petrino
I
not to
think
throw
they've got
lightning
this
at you?
one handed. Yes. I've already said
Wait,
to-
why? What did Petrino have to do with that? Wait a
He
minute.
said, "Arkansas Jesus, don't strike me dead."
Why though? Why Petrino?
I don't, because...
He calls him Arkansas
because,
Jesus.
He's Jesus. He's Jesus.
Well, no.
Keep
Okay,
up,
I
man.
must have
To
missed
all of you.
something.
Shit. He's Jesus to all of you, so...
To all of you,
Anyway,
I don't know about all that.
yes.
I don't think he's Jesus.
So anyway,
I think his
I
offense is good.
I do think it's interesting that 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all out.
Yeah,
If you notice, we got 5, 6, 7, and 8 in the final 4.
yeah.
I
It's
think
an
Ohio
argument
State
for
takes it. I think
expansion.
Notre Dame takes it.
Do you think it's an argument for
Absolutely.
expansion? Yeah, me too.
Absolutely. Kirby Smart doesn't. He already has commented that we should go back to 4 teams.
Did he? I bet he loved
commented
that, didn't
this
he?
week, yeah.
He's like, "This ain't fair, man. This ain't fair."
This shows we need to go back to a 4-team bracket. Yeah, no, this was absolutely argument for expansion. They did get some teams absolutely wrong. This is not the best teams in the final 12 or whatever. But
Well, they
I
put
do
some
think
stupid
that,
rules on it too, though,
They did put some stupid rules
with the
I
auto
100% agree with you.
qualifiers. And they should have done rank 1 through 12 and put them in the damn thing, in my opinion.
What is, in y'all's
Well,
opinion?
they need to account for strength of schedule. Period.
Yeah, they do. And if they did, there'd be some really high profile teams that would have really struggled to get in. I mean, that's just
Well,
I
I mean, but Boise State wouldn't have wasted our time.
right.
Oh,
And I root for teams like that. I mean,
did too,
I
yeah.
root for teams like that because I want them to be bracket busters, if you will. I want them to do that because it makes it even more interesting, right? But
Yeah, but I mean, end of the day, who did Boise, Indiana, SMU, whose spot did they take that actually could have made an interesting game? It's only interesting if they win. It's not interesting if they lose because you knew they were going to lose in the first place.
Yeah, I think
hindsight's
Texas
2020
was gonna get
also.
killed by Ohio State. Ohio State looked like the real deal.
But see, I don't think this is hindsight. There were too many people saying this is a mistake before the game was ever played. There were too many people going, Indiana doesn't belong before the game was ever played. There's no hindsight to that.
Well, no, but the people that weren't saying that before are the people I'm talking about. The people I saw on Discord and people that on Twitter that were picking Illinois or Indiana to surprise everyone. Like, yeah, and those same people turn around and hindsight is always 2020. But you're right. I mean, no one. We sat here and talked about it. Indiana's schedule was pathetic. It was so bad. Like when They would not have been in if we really were looking at strength of schedule. I mean, for sure.
I think the funniest thing was how confident Signetti was, and they just got the shit.
Oh my God! And that I think that fueled some of the people. You know, the hype factor was just how confident that guy was. It was like, I don't think so, man. I don't remember who I picked. Hell, I don't think I picked Indiana in our. If we did a prediction, maybe I did. I don't know.
I was rooting for them, but I knew they were gonna get massacred. Yeah. Well, you know, your gut tells you that. You never know anything, but I was watching and I was like, yeah, they're going to get killed.
The Ohio State-Texas game is interesting. It is a very interesting game. This is going to be, I don't know, man.
It depends.
It feels like it's either going to be
out looking like a world beater again.
Well, it's either going to be, I think I would take Ohio State on the spread. It's at 2.5 right now in their favor, but I feel like I would take.
Looks like 5.5.
Oh, is it 5.5?
Yeah.
I'm looking at. What the hell am I looking at then?
Can I zoom in this thing?
No. The most recent one's 5.5.
I'll be damned. I thought it was 2.5. Well, I'd probably still take that. I feel like I want to take Ohio State at 7, but I don't know, man. The play, it's just a different. I've said this since the beginning. Playoffs are just different. I don't know, and it's about quality depth, and these big teams that got knocked out, why'd they get knocked out versus 5-6 years ago that wouldn't have been the case? It's because they don't have the quality depth like they used to. They don't have that big-time elite. They don't have that big-time, third-string, 5-star or whatever tackle, or, now they got to rely on, a thinner part of their depth or where they didn't have or where they don't have the talent now that they used to have 5 or 6 years ago.
Tim, Mr. DC has a question for you. He said, how much do we get if Texas wins?
I actually don't know.
Yeah, that's a great question.
You can look it up. You can look it up. I looked it up for the Liberty Bowl, like I told you guys last week. The winner got $6 million for the Liberty Bowl, and then the SEC takes that and splits that among the schools. Obviously, $6 million divided by 16 is not, some super huge number, but you add up the bowls. Every time an SEC team wins and gets the money for the bowl, we all take a share of it. You want Texas to win. And the bigger the bowl, I think the bigger the prize. At some point, it caps. But I think that this bowl is probably worth more than $6 million.
Looks like each team conference gets $4 million for every team that makes it to the final 12. Then
damn, I didn't know that.
Then $4 million for those that make it to the quarterfinals. Texas has earned $14 million so far.
Huh. I actually thought it'd be higher than that.
Which gets split between the teams in the SEC.
So they get
Texas
they don't even get $1 million.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah. So in other words, Arkansas's win covered the water in the toilets of all the SEC schools.
Yeah, exactly. Arkansas, you said got $6 million for that game?
This is why you split, why you cheer for conference. You split that with everybody, and if the SEC goes, how many bowls did we have?
I don't know.
If we go 10-0 in bowls, that's money split across the conference.
You could argue, Tim. You could argue instead of because of the money thing, blah blah blah. You could argue that, guys, we do an SEC Unleashed podcast, so maybe we should cheer for all the SEC teams.
That's fair.
I mean,
the rest of that quote.
I'm not cheering for any of these teams when we play them.
The rest of that quote.
All the SEC teams and say, I hope you all lose and I hope your stadiums fall apart, but not when you're playing teams outside the conference.
Yeah.
Said about 115
lose to Maryland.
Yeah.
About $115 million is on the line in the playoffs. Each conference gets $4 million for every team that makes it to the final 12, then $4 million for those that make the quarterfinals. It means that earned buys are worth $8 million to their conferences without even playing a game. Teams that advance to the semifinals earn $6 million more for their conference, and they also earn another $6 million for making the final.
Is the NFL set up like this?
I don't know, man. The conferences all distribute the money differently.
I don't think so because I think that they just bonus their players. Shut up.
There's a $300,000 stipend per team that is academically eligible for the playoffs. Teams making the playoffs get $3 million to cover expenses for each round too. What? $3 million per round, dude. What are y'all doing? Damn, dude. I got to get into the college athletics.
No kidding. I tried Googling, do NFL teams get a bonus for making the playoffs? And players I don't get the the players do, but I mean, do the teams, within the league, do they get some kind of bonus? Or how does that work?
Well, isn't the league's TV revenue all shared?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, it is.
So
Mr. DC
has
got the point of most everybody on X. He said also, do we want Texas to win because they will talk shit about taking down the SEC in year one?
I could give a shit. They've already taken down the SEC in year one. They outlasted Georgia in the playoffs.
Couldn't beat them head to head.
They can lose the next game.
Didn't need to
lose
either.
The next game and say we made it further.
They may have gotten further. They may have gotten further, but they sure shit couldn't beat Georgia. That argument is so funny to me, though. The Big 12 fans that are making that comment, like, the former Big 12 team comes in and outlasts everybody, and it's like, okay, all right, cool, but they're still part of the SEC.
Yeah,
so
the Big 12 team's been an SEC team for 2 years. Not on paper, but it's been built like one.
Yeah, Sarkisian came in,
and you take the top 2 Big 12 teams, and one of them was an abject failure. So
yeah.
So okay, you got 1 or 2.
Yeah, congrats. Yeah, Oklahoma.
I don't know.
Congrats.
I kind of want them all to lose, but I'd be all right with Arkansas getting some free money out of the deal.
It's like when I was gonna say, it reminds me too of when Mizzou joined and they won the SEC East back to back, and that's all we heard. Big 12 fans like, oh, look at that, a former Big 12 team dominated the league. The East was garbage.
Yeah, those things on Facebook where you see memories of things that you typed years ago?
Oh, I hate those.
I saw this thing the other day. It was like 12 years ago, and it said, "Ha
go Boomer Sooner," right?
No. It said, Texas A&M and Missouri about to come in here and get the shit kicked out of them. And boy, was I wrong.
That did not age well.
Yeah,
to be fair, what has A&M accomplished since joining? They've never won the SEC West. Okay, cool. You owned Arkansas in their worst decade in football history. Congratulations. Great. What have they done, right? As a program, what have they done? They haven't won the SEC West, but I think they got. They do go 8-4 a lot.
They did beat Alabama. Something most of us couldn't do.
So did Vanderbilt.
Yeah. They did, and Johnny Manziel was Johnny Football. Manziel was fun as hell to watch. I mean, I hated to see A&M do so well.
I hated his guts, but he was so good.
He was so fun to watch, man.
He was that guy that was
give him credit for a long time, because really, when you watch him, even if you go back and watch him today, it looked like he was throwing the ball up, and Mike Evans was just going and saving his ass every single time. It was just like, hey, I'm going to throw the ball in the air, and whatever happens, and Mike Evans goes, oh, I got you, bro, and catches the ball in these ridiculous ways, catches.
But his improvisation outside of the pocket,
was awesome.
It was unreal. I've never seen anything like that. And to this day, I've not seen anything. Now, Matt Jones could just run down the sidelines, but he didn't. You could take a good angle on Matt and you wouldn't catch him. That's different. It's what Manziel could do with that ball in his hands. It was just unreal. I mean, I thought for sure he was a wizard.
Yeah, for sure.
So you talk about hindsight. So many people, I could have told you he wasn't going to do anything in the NFL. Bullshit. Everyone thought that dude was going to go to the league and crush. Everyone.
Went to the Browns, poor bastard.
I actually didn't, but it's okay.
You thought he was going to do good?
My take on Manziel was literally that he threw the ball up and Mike Evans saved him. I thought Mike Evans was going to be a top receiver of all time. I really did. I really thought he made Manziel's career.
He
made Jameis Winston look all right, too, for a little while.
He makes Baker Mayfield look all right.
Mm-hmm. That's rough.
What did Baker do before having Mike Evans?
Got beat up on Dixon Street by cops.
Yeah, that's fair.
He did.
That is fair. Yeah.
What was he even doing here? Did anyone ever get backstory on
I
it?
have no idea. I love that he put Dixon Street like that out. The way he said that. Who was he talking to? It wasn't Skip Bayless. Who the hell was that? Was it
Remember.
He was on when it was a national syndicated show, and he talked about Dixon Street. It'll get you. Was it Colin Cowherd? Maybe it was funny. It was like, oh yeah, Dixon Street will get you.
If you're from here, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It'll get you, man.
Yeah,
Missouri's
you don't have to
kicking
be
the
from
shit out of
NWA.
LSU right now, 51-33. Yuck.
Ugh.
Got to love it, boys. Well, what else you got, man? Tell me something good, Ty. Tell me some secret recruits sitting in the back room hiding.
Shit. No, I'm really curious to see. Like, I'm more excited for spring camp this year than I was last year. And all things considered, you had your quarterback of the future on his way. Taylon Green, regardless of what you think of him. Now, at the time, I think you ought to be pretty thrilled that he's back, if you want my opinion, just as far as getting that caliber of player back, even though he didn't score a lot and he turned the ball over a lot and made a lot of mistakes outside the pocket, blah, 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 blah. But at the time last year, it was like, okay, they're getting this dude. He's tall, he's fast, and he's going to operate within the Petrino system. But somehow I'm like more excited about getting to go to camp this year than I was last year. Assuming,
Really?
again, they haven't
Maybe
kicked
just
me
sheer
out.
curiosity.
Well,
I think it is.
Our Petrino system should be fun to watch, and we should be much better outside of the 20s.
Yeah, and you hope that they. That's the question is, if you had to argue, like, what are the pillars of the biggest offseason pillars, like the biggest conversation pieces of the offseason, if you're talking about what they're doing out of the portal? Did they answer the question up front on the offensive line, and did they equip Taylon Green with enough weapons? And I don't know the answer to either one of those. I feel like the offensive line is going to be better off, especially with Carmona coming back, and these 2-3 guys are getting out of the portal. But, is Crutchfield and what's his name, the other receiver?
Omega.
Omega
yeah.
Blake.
Omega, are they enough? Omega Blake, are they enough? Platt, is that enough? Omegatron.
Omegatron.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I like that. Omegatron.
Bobby's getting Bobby's loading up on a lot of little dudes. I wonder if there's something to that.
A lot of slot guys. I was looking at that too. They number of guys.
Maybe he's
that could
like,
line
we're
up
gonna
in the
bust this
slot.
bitch open this week, or this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Just
they got
long.
another big. His favorite thing to do, it feels like, is get these bigger backs, these taller, lengthier backs. And Mike Washington's like 6'2". If he's 6'1", he's a tall 6'1", almost 220 pounds. The kid they got out of New Mexico State. The little running back taller running back who played at New Mexico State, and I think Buffalo before that. They're kind of doing the thing that I thought he would do, which is get guys that reminded us of what he had success with when he was here the first time. Not necessarily outside of Greg Childs. Like, he didn't have a bunch of tall, Greg Childs and Kobe Hamilton, if I remember. Huh?
Go ahead. I was going to finish your sentence.
Oh, I was just saying, like, you only had really Kobe Hamilton and Greg Childs, who were your taller receivers. Your other guys were Joe Adams and, Jarius Wright. Guys, your smaller, kind of built lower to the earth kind of players, and you could line them up anywhere out. You line them outside the boundary, line them up in the slot. So he's kind of building what, in terms of just like the size, and the options of where these guys can play. It feels like it's going to be similar to what he had the first time. Now, again, to be fair, Crutchfield. Well, no, what is he? 6'1", 6 foot. So Crutchfield's also not exactly a real big receiver. So Omega's 6'2".
Between Crutchfield and Madden.
Oh yeah.
I wonder how much money they spent on them too. I wonder how much money they have left.
Yeah. Are they going to fill out 5 more spots? Like, that's the question I have. Like, are they going to what are they going to wait until after spring camp? Maybe they're going to grab just a couple more and then wait till after spring camp to grab a couple more. I don't know.
Ryan's got a pretty good point. He said Bobby is telling you they couldn't win in one-on-ones last season. That's fair.
Wait, what? What?
So, Ryan said Bobby is telling you they couldn't win on one-on-ones last year, like our receivers we had, except Armstrong.
That's not fair, though. That's not right. That's not correct.
So?
If you're wait. If he's talking about camp, no, the receivers balled out. I mean, Broden was unstoppable.
Broden was unstoppable in camp. Who cares?
Well, that's what I'm saying though. If he's, yeah. If he's saying that, like talking about camp, because I started off talking about spring camp.
No,
that's what he's talking about.
I think he was talking about when I said, what's he doing getting all these little small fast dudes?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know. To be fair, though, dude, I mean, they had a lot of speed at receiver last year, too, outside of Tesla.
Yeah.
I mean, they really did.
They had a guy that could run 22 miles an hour sitting on the bench. So
yeah. I mean, they had speed. Didn't do much, didn't amount to much. By the way, Broden was fast as hell. Broden was quick, man.
I think Broden had a lot of personal shit going on last year, man.
He did. Broden did have a lot of stuff going on. And Mason, when I had him on a couple of weeks ago, he reminded me of that. He was like, yeah, don't forget, Broden had some stuff going on. It might have impacted his ability to catch the ball, but it was because he did not do that before, and it was bad. I mean, in terms of his, like, just through camp. But he had a problem with dropping the ball also, I think, at Bowling Green. If I remember right, in looking at his PFF, he also struggled. So it carried with him. So that's something too that I'm keeping an eye on. Like, what's their drop rate, right? How often are they dropping balls? What's their catch rate or their catch percentage off targets? Like, what is their reception? That's all the stuff I'm looking at.
It really seems
and everything
like
else
just got a team full of, boy, I hope this shit don't fail. You know what I mean? Or a team full of potential, kind of.
I mean, you could say that.
These guys could be awesome. Think about McCrory. He's never played, but he's huge and he was highly recruited. Crutchfield, same way, not proven. Blake, yes, but in a lower level. I think he was at South Carolina for a while, but I don't think he was the same guy at South Carolina that he was at Charlotte.
I could be wrong, but I don't think Kavion Broussard, the offensive lineman, big dude, 6'6", 290, tall. I don't mean like, he's not like one of these 350, but I don't think he's played a single snap at Ole Miss, or if he has, it wasn't enough that I would actually log it, and I'm usually pretty good about logging their snaps. And I don't have him down as any snaps. He was a former Miami commit. He ended up flipping to Ole Miss in 2023. And so I think he signed in 24 class and signed with Ole Miss. So he's also another guy that's unproven. I mean, you're talking about a guy that had offers from big schools. Obviously, Lane Kiffin liked him enough that he recruited him out of high school. So Broussard is maybe someone we need to keep an eye on. But, I don't know. That's the thing about the portal. You don't know. You have no idea who's going to really show up and be the man. You just don't until they do it. I'll say this: Taylon Green's numbers did surprise me. I didn't think he was going to put up that kind of offense this year in terms of just yardage. I really didn't.
Royal White, did he commit to anywhere yet?
It's actually a good question. I don't have him on my list on Discord.
Surprised if they don't take a run at that kid because he flipped from us to go to Ole Miss.
He hasn't committed anywhere yet. If you remember his recruiting, he was pretty active on Twitter, and he kind of.
I'm reading his Twitter right now. Yep.
Yeah, and it felt like I don't think anyone ever felt comfortable with him staying committed. Yeah, and he was. He was predicted to Arkansas. But
he was committed and then decommitted, isn't that right? Or did he commit and flip?
He was – I'm trying to pull it up. He was committed. I just don't remember for how long. It doesn't feel like it was real long.
I see his commitment graphic. I see –
Okay, he committed March 13th. Mm-hmm. And he decommitted August 1st. So he was committed longer than I thought.
Yeah. His commitment graphic is actually pretty sweet. It looks like one of Josh's.
Wait, what? One of whose?
Josh Minden's. Mindenman.
It
looks like one of his. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I tell people too, don't get too wrapped up in offers. People get way too wrapped up in offers. Offers are not always what you think they are. There are plenty of kids that, like Darren McFadden. I don't know what the true story is, but I think I remember his recruiting was he only had like 5 offers. But that's not – we don't know how legit that was. And something I remember sticking out on the radio, I think Chuck Barrett was talking about it.
I know how legit it was. He committed to Arkansas in my high school gym.
Well, that's what I'm going to – well, yeah. But that's what I'm saying, though. You don't know if these kids are is it a committable offer? That's the question, right? And with Darren McFadden, was he telling all these other people why he didn't get these offers that, you know what, no, don't bother, I'm hardcore committed to Arkansas. So then you don't report those offers. So I try to tell kids, and I learned this even more when I was able to go to a junior camp a couple of years ago with Otis Kirk when I worked for Hogville. I learned a little bit that day. I learned that offers can be just as empty as anything. I mean, they really can. It's more like it's like throwing out a line, if you're fishing and you're just trying to, you're trying to fill a player out, get to know him a little better. Maybe you're throwing him an offer because he has a teammate or a relative, or you just want to stay connected to that school. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, dude, there's 2 things I just thought of. 2 commits that are surprising to me. I was surprised to see the Haas brothers split. Did you notice that? That one of them went to Ole Miss. Luke went to Ole Miss, and his brother went to App State, I think.
Yeah, I don't think Ole Miss was going to throw him an offer.
And then the other one, Kane Archer's little brother committed to UCA.
Oh yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
I still don't think they end up with him.
I don't know. I've anymore, to be honest, man. It's hard for me to get real excited about prospects anymore because you don't know where the hell they're going to be in 2-3 years.
Yeah, he'll end up here.
Crutchfield's a real good example of that. Just like the lineman that committed to LSU, Kern. Yeah. I feel like he's probably going to end up back here in the next couple of years. I mean, I could be wrong. He might end up transferring out of LSU to Mississippi State. I don't know, but I feel like at some point he's going to end up back in Fayetteville.
If they take him and they don't play for us for a year, they're kind of just saving us money.
Maybe,
Crutchfield, I heard he got a bag to go to Mizzou. If he would have just sat on our bench, that bag would have came from us. They kind of did us a favor.
Maybe. So. Yeah. I mean, unless you offered him even more and he does the same thing to Arkansas.
That's fair. I feel like Sam's gonna be like, I put money in you, you're gonna play, damn it. Like
yeah, but he did that with what's his nuts? Kudus, right? He got completely played in that whole situation.
Kudus pulled a fast one. He just straight up lied about it. If the story is what Sam said it was, I don't know the kid and I don't know the story personally, but if he did what Sam says he did, that was some dirty shit, dude. That's some filthy work. You know what I mean?
Didn't make him look very good. You really didn't.
I would have shit on him if he would do that to me. I'd be like, that little bastard. He told me he was gonna stay if he gave his red shirt. I don't went off the handle, dude. But I would have got fired probably. And
and I was gonna say, you don't want to you might be friends with that kid. You might be friends with Kudus' high school coach, and that might be a pipeline. So that's a lot of the reason why you don't. Well, that and it just doesn't look professional, and all that. But I am sometimes surprised at some of the things that he says, openly, and I'm like, okay, all right. And again, we ask for transparency every once in a while. I feel like he's giving it to you, just like the whole "we've got the money, we got the money" bit that he went on a few weeks ago, and it's like, cool, where's it at? Where are they? And like Arky 56 will tell you, well, Ta, he used to always do that to me when I was a kid. Arky 56 is my dad. That's my dad. He'd go, Ta, let me tell you, Arkansas just went 6-6. So you're not going to get whoever you want out of the portal. Damn it, Dad, you're right.
That's what I said. You're like the fat chick at the prom with a shitty attitude also. You know what I mean? You gotta pick a lane. Pick a lane, dude.
So all these kids that commit to Arkansas are hopping on the grenade. Is that what you're saying right now?
Yes, they are. You can't have a shitty record and not have money. You gotta pick a lane, dude. If you're gonna be a bad team, you better be rich. If you know what I mean? If you're gonna be a poor team, you better be Alabama's stature. I'm just saying. You can't be fat and dumb. You gotta read a book.
Tim, you're shaking your head. Go on.
He knows I'm right.
No,
He knows I'm right.
Laughing at him. Just laughing at him. His analogy is hilarious.
It's hilarious.
But it's real. All right, boys. I guess I'm gonna call it.
Hold on. I want to. Who's Ryan talking about? Neither are commits. And by the way, it's TY, not TYE, Ryan.
I put
TY, damn it,
just to piss him off.
Who's he talking about? Neither are commits.
I don't know.
I want to make. I always want to make sure I'm clear on something. I don't know who.
Ooh, that's a good name. Transplanted Texas. I missed this. He said the what might be portal class.
Yeah.
We need a what's been proven portal class. You ain't lying.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Maybe they were
what
talking
might
about
be.
letters of intent or something. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. All right, fellas.
All right, guys.
All right, boys and girls, thank y'all for joining us. Like and subscribe. Help us grow the damn YouTube channel. We got a lot of Twitter followers. We're trying to get the YouTube channel. It's difficult. But
Yeah, YouTube's a bitch.
God, it is.
I mean,
Twitter's
unless you've got
easy.
if you got a built-in audience, it's definitely a lot easier to grow a YouTube. But you gotta grow it yourself, and it's tough, man. You gotta take
every viewer
that.
counts, though, man. Especially on YouTube.
It does, and that is the Viagra, is when viewers share the content. That's the Viagra. Why? Because it grows.
It's fair. It's the Blue Chew, sponsored by Blue Chew. Hey, Ryan said he was talking about offers. Hey,
He's
man.
talking about offers.
Okay. Offers are not commits.
Hey, I'll get us a sponsorship from Blue Chew, man. It's a hard knock life over here.
Well, yeah, of
You've been
course
trying to
not.
get us a blue chew since we were. Don't read the comments.
I know, man. It's because I listen to a lot of podcasts and they sponsor a ton of them. Anyway.
They do, man. They're everywhere. Yeah.
All right, boys and girls. We'll see y'all next week.
See you next week.